Um, and like I said, I'm okay if you're okay talking to talk. Just probably keep yourself on mute until you have a question, and you can unmute and talk. You don't have to use chat, but for some people who don't want their Kentucky accent on camera, then you know, or on video or audio, then you can use chat if that's what you prefer to do. So either way. So okay, well, I'll go ahead and get started. As your daughter logs in or you log in, you're going to see this screen that'll have their profile. You can obviously, everybody's used to profiles at this point. You can edit the picture if you want to and add a picture in there. And then there's other areas around. Then if they choose, like if you get into club ball and your team uses HUDL, you can choose to, the only way you can do this is make sure that all of your HUDL accounts use the same email address. So tell them to use your school email address if you'd like to make sure that they can see both of their profiles and their videos all in one place. If not, Elle actually, since Connie had kind of set this up under the school emails, she has a profile for Mercy and then a profile for Kiva that has her other videos in it versus being able to merge those together. But that's probably okay given the seasons are different and everything else. So I wouldn't worry too much about that other than for future, make sure whatever email you use to set it up, you keep it on whatever one it's set up for here if you want all your videos in one place. So what we're going to go through tonight is first the video feed, which I'm going to hit in a minute. And then I'll talk about highlights, which I'm going to talk about your highlights, which is where the player highlights are, because this highlights will have everything for Mercy Volleyball in it. This feed that you see will kind of have every Mercy Volleyball game feed that kind of comes in. So it has all the videos. It'll have other things. There's a couple groups that I think Connie followed for everyone, which are some 2021 and 2022 suggestions or other things. So you can see various things that will pop in here that aren't related to Mercy. I call them ads if you want to call it that. And then if it's, since this is Elle's feed, it will have kind of some things that, some highlights that might be in there from her. And so I'm going to tell you a couple things that HUDL does automatically. So the way HUDL works behind the scenes is you upload a video of the game, and and only one person has to upload that. So Daniel Marin has been uploading those. You guys make sure you thank him if you get a chance because you upload the video, and at that point in time, HUDL breaks the video down and cuts it into clips that are usually about 8 seconds long and tags it. And they tag it with all the stats that you would see in a stat sheet. So you got kills and assists and all that stuff. We'll talk about it more. But then they automatically create these game highlights based on various things that they saw in there that they pulled out of those clips. And it's usually a lot of the kills or assists or rarely does it have digs in there. So if you're a DS, it's a little less fun to watch those at times. Every once in a while it will, but it will have a lot of the kills and blocks and things like that where we scored points, and it creates those videos automatically. For every player that was in that game, and this happens to be, I think, the freshman or JV game, for every player, it will also tag key plays, usually whatever they had the most stats in. So if you're a hitter and you had 6 kills, you might get a highlight video, which you see down here for L on a game where it says L Jackson 6 digs. And so what it will do is it will pick whatever stat you might have a lot of, and it automatically creates a highlight video that's just those digs. It's just going to show digs in that particular case. And so it's not a bad little kind of a blurb video of something that's out there. So there's always something on the feed that's going, but it's not like a full game video of all the highlights. And so in those cases, that's what we're going to create is more of a full game video, but you'll see these in your daughter's reel where they'll have these little clips of highlights that were automatically generated for them. And those might come through in their email address, in their email account as well as they're looking at that. And so not going to spend a ton of time on this page. It's just where when you log in, it's going to drive you automatically. What I am going to do is I'm going to click over here on this video. And once you get to this screen, it's going to pop up the first time, and you'll see every video that's been uploaded for the season out there for every game. And then in our particular case, that's JV, varsity, and freshman. And what Daniel's done a good job of is coming over here and labeling every video is labeled as JV, varsity, or freshman, so you can filter those out to get to just the games that you would like to see. And so in this particular case, we are going to click, I'm going to click varsity, so that as we're trying to get into building a highlight video, we can see just the varsity games, because that's what my daughter plays. Obviously, others would pick whatever they want to watch. And then we'll say, which game do we want to try to see highlights on? If you see this little card in the corner, it says videos tagged. That means that that's something that they've already done that clipping and tagging for you, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And that's what you're going to create your highlights off of. And so sometimes, like this game, for instance, hasn't been tagged yet. And so if I were to pull that up, I'd have the video, but I wouldn't have anything to sort it by. I would just have to watch the whole video and try to create clips out of there, which takes a lot of time, and you don't want to do that. So we're going to use HUDL to its fullest, and we're going to look for where it's already been tagged, and that's where we're going to start to look at our videos to create. So I'm going to pause this for just a second. So what you'll see is this is going to actually usually starts all the way at the beginning of the game, or somewhere where there's videos, clips associated. And you'll see at the bottom where you see these little tags, that's all the things that have been tagged at that part of the video for that particular play, whatever was going on there. And it includes both, and this is manual, so it includes both manual and mercy, everything that was there. What we see over here on the right is a number of filters that we can apply to get to the highlights that we'd like to see. And so, for instance, if I wanted to see Elle's clips, I'm going to do that. I'm going to click on Elle's name, and automatically, you see over here, it's dropped her name in, and now it says there's 36 tags that match that filter. And at the bottom, you'll see now it took all of those other tags and darked them out, but it left the ones that L's associated with. And so you see this one says serve receive number 4. And if I were to play that, you'd see that L's going to do a serve receive here. Cameron is going to do it. And then you see now it says set. So L now has this set, and it pops over, and there's an attack for number 19, which is associated with that set. So all that kind of shows up as a tag related to L in that particular clip. And so I'm just going to pause there and say, that's with L Jackson. Let me see everything that she's been associated with. Now, as you're building a highlight, I'm going to talk about two different things. This is the raw tags that you have here. These are the filters, and these are the tags that match the filter. This is important because tags are what you want to turn into clips that you would use in a video later. And so I'll show that here in just a minute. But the first thing is I want to go through what these filters have. And so serve receive is one of the first ones. And outside of rotation, which is which rotation in the lineup you are. So if you start the game, you're in rotation 1, and obviously that rotates through. But serve receive is the first one. And you can see if I'm trying to do clips for L, I would like to see her perfect passes. And now you see that 36 goes down to 5. So now if I'm looking at these clips, I'm only seeing the passes that were perfect passes. And that would be what I might want to put in a highlight video. So I'm going to say, well, let me see those. Well, I also might want to see aces. And I'm going to, and since Elle didn't serve real good that night, I don't think she has any. Nope, she doesn't. But if she did, then she'd have aces there. I could also say, well, how many times did she try to serve? And I can tell that now it's added those 5 perfect passes plus serve attempts. I'm not going to just put all the serve attempts in, so I'm going to delete that out for this video or for this exercise. And then we're going to go to offense. And if I were a hitter, then I might want to pull the kills or maybe even all the hitting attempts. If I'm a passer or a setter, then I might pull assists. What I will say for Cameron, for instance, Jennifer, it will tag assists because she's a setter. And so you can see her assists to pull into the video. For the back row players, it will show when they do a out of system set, but they're not tagging it also as assist. So even though we saw that Georgia might have got a kill on that play before and Elle said it, it's not tagging that particular ball as an assist. So I usually, for a back row player in HUDL, I'll pull all the assist attempts and then I'll find the ones that she had an actual assist on. And then I'll clean those up later and I'll show you how to do that as we go on. And then obviously as a passer, I would like to see digs. As a front row player, you would like to probably see blocks and digs because you could have both of those in your video. And so now as we look through this video, we've got 19 tags that Elle's associated with that are her perfect passes, her assist attempts, or her digs. And so if I wanted to kind of highlight and say, what do those look like? I can click over here on the play button and I can see each of these and you can see what they're tagging here across the bottom. And so we can see that. And if I want to just say, oh, yep, I like that, let's go to the next one. I click the next button and it will go to where it's pulled up the very next clip that she's in. And where you see this kind of highlighted box, that's all the clip is. So if you watch through this line, you see set. And so it started, it's recording that as a set up to this point where the ball's there. And so that would be certainly one that I might want to include because we got a kill on that. And so this is just a way to navigate through and see what your filters have in them before you do anything else. So I'm not creating highlights. I'm not doing anything else other than finding the things that I might want to include in a highlight reel. So I'm going to pause there for a minute and see if anybody has any questions before I move on. Nope. Okay. I'll keep moving fast just so we don't burn a lot of time up. But so now that I've got these 19 things, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add those to your clips. So you see up here, it says your clips and tags. I'm on the tag filter right now. That my clips has nothing in it because I haven't added any of those yet. But now that I've flipped through these 19, those are the ones I want. I click add to clips. And it says 19 clips added over here in the corner. And if I click on your clip, sorry, that's a hard thing to say. And I go up here to the top, I'm just going to pause this for a minute and move the video all the way back to the front. And what you're going to see as you're looking, as I scroll all the way up here to the top, when I click on this, it's going to highlight in light gray up here at the top, this first ball, which was a pass. Now, in this particular play, if I'm watching it, you see that I have a pass and a set because it clipped each of those individually as a serve receive pass and a set. But if I'm looking at my timeline here, there's 22 seconds with 6 seconds and at 30. But if I'm watching the play, that's all in one play, right? And so instead of having 2 clips, I might want to just keep the play running so that I have both a dig and a set and an assist all in one play. And if I do that, then I don't need both of these clips anymore. So what I can do is I can actually click on this first one. And what you'll see here is this is that timeline of that first clip. Now you see it stopped before the set happened. So I need to stretch that out more to where I can see where she got both the pass and then the set, which I got to stretch it more. You can just kind of keep closing this down and stretching that out until it's all included in there. I'm just going to kind of clip over here to where we know we've got that dig. All right, so I know that I've got that now. I'm just not going to keep playing it, but you know, you can see that the play ends when it's over. And so now I've got this clip that's this long, and I'm going to clip save clip here. And so now you see that's 21 seconds for that clip. And I will likely then delete the second one here, which means that I've got both of those in. And what I'll do back here, so I know what I just did, is I can edit this name and say pass, set, assist. And at that point, I hit save clip. And then at least when I'm looking at that, I know it's got more than one play included in it overall. And it's 17 seconds long versus all these others that are 8 seconds. And so that's just one way to kind of get through this file. So this number that you see over here is where that is. So her next play is at 10:03. And I can find that by just running back here to the next level to see where we're at and attach that or not attach it, but look through these various things. And so what I would say is now that you have these clips, these are those 35 or 18 or whatever we end up coming up with as the number, the items that are there. I spend my time mostly on here doing what I just did with you guys, which is looking for plays that multiple things happened and trying to just put those down into one clip. But the rule of thumb here, if I'm trying to tell you what you're doing, the tags are everything that your kid's involved in. Your clips are the things that you would like to possibly include in a highlight that have her playing, but do not try to delete every clip that you don't like here, because you'll have another opportunity to do that when you get to the actual highlight film. And so if I wanted to create a highlight film based on everything that I have in here, then I'm going to say send to highlights. And you'll see this say highlights added for L. Jackson. And essentially by doing that editing of, you know, the size of the clip and the other things here, I'm done in the video portion of trying to look at the video, and I've clipped out everything that I think I might want to include in a highlight, and it's created a highlight for me under your highlights. So if I go to L's profile and I go to your highlights, I can pull that up, and then I will see, let's hit refresh here. Should see that manual game, but not seeing that. Hold on. Video. I forget to hit it. Manual game. Highlights. Oh, that's interesting. It's the first time that hasn't worked for me. Just only when I'm trying to do this with you guys. Let's see, newest. All right, let's go to the video here. Again. It's only when you want to try to do a video that something like this happens. There we go, manual. So it's rendering those highlights right now. You'll get that every once in a while. I'm going to click edit here. Rendering basically means it's creating all that into a highlight for you. But this would be the next stage that you get to, which is a view of all of those clips that we were just looking at in a video that is created for the Mango game for L. And so the first thing I might do is come up here and say L. Jackson versus Manual, and that would be what this highlight video clip would be named. The second thing I'm going to talk about is just the theme. And so the theme actually adds each of the items to the list, or I'm sorry, the theme actually is just kind of gives you a color scheme that it works with and has a few things that I'll talk about later. I typically, since this is Mercy, go with this light blue theme. And as you do that, when you're building your highlight video, it will show kind of, if I'm going to just cancel this for a minute. This card changes. It will pop up with these kind of blue screens that you see here overall. So as you just kind of pick a theme, you could have different color themes if you like, and it will just really change the color scheme overall of what it's going to put in the highlight video. So I'll go back into resume editing. And the next thing I want to do is I want to say, okay, well, I've got these clips, but how do they know where L is when they're looking at this? And so if I clip on the clip, I've got a few options. Remember, I was talking about you could edit in the clip area. Now you're in the highlight film. So this is going to edit this clip specifically for your highlight. And if I wanted to make that longer or shorter here, I could do that in this section. I could also then say, how do I want L to be spotted in this clip? And so I click this little highlight button, and you'll get a number of options. So I'm just going to click on a few of these so you can see how you want your kid to show up in the video. And I usually use something that circles around her to where she's there, and that we can always find her in the clip. And then if I wanted to, I could also put something like L versus manual, but that's going to show up on every clip, or I'd have to type it in every clip if I wanted that there. I'm going to do it just for example purposes for you here so that you can see that now this one clip has L versus manual. It had the circle around it as it's looking. It's going to keep just rotating through this clip until I click on another one, but it'll have that highlight. To move these around, it's very simple. You just, if I wanted that to be the second clip instead of the first, I just move the order that you want these in. And if I don't want it anymore, I could hit this delete button and it would delete that clip out of the video altogether. So I know I went through that really quickly, but that's kind of this is where you'll spend most of your time creating a video, is saying, well, how do I try to highlight my daughter? And then from where she's highlighted, do I need the clip to be longer or shorter? And do I want to say anything about it? I frankly don't use this function much on the clips because it's going to have a starting clip video, and then it will have or it's going to say it's L Jackson and it's against manual, and then the rest of the clips kind of line up for themselves. So that's kind of what you would do to create this. There's a couple other options. This little plus button, sorry, I did that quickly. This plus button in the bottom, you can add, if you clicked videos here, you could add other videos from other games. So if you want a multi-game highlight film, you could actually go into one of the others and say, well, which clips do you want out of that game, and add those to your video if you wanted to. I'm doing a single game video, but that's how you would do, say, a tournament video if you wanted to. You can also add music to it. I'll tell you right now, from going through the college recruiting experience, we were told quite a bit not to put music in the videos. They want to kind of hear and see what's going on the clips themselves. If you're kind of doing a highlight video for colleges, if you're trying to do a highlight video for your family or something else, then go ahead and put that in. The other thing I would say from a college perspective is when Elle usually would talk to the colleges, they would watch the videos. They usually, will have between probably 2 and 5 minutes that they have to really watch it. And so you really want to kind of be judicious with the clips. I think HUDL is probably the best I've seen at doing that, at trying to give you these 8-second clips where it's sometimes you feel like it's really important. They see all these other aspects of the game, but they're looking at a lot of kids and they want to try to do that quickly. and they would usually say, they want to kind of see those pieces. And if they like what they see, then they can go back and watch more of a game. If they want to go see more of the game film, they can go watch more of that potentially. And it's where sometimes when I was going through the recruiting process, I would build a highlight clip, and then I would build all the plays Elle played in, so that if they did want to watch Elle in a game, they didn't have to watch the full game. They could watch all the clips that she was associated with, and that would be a little bit easier method for them to watch something quickly. But never really got a lot of feedback that they used that. They did look at the highlights though quite a bit. The one other thing, and I'm not pushing any particular recruiting package, but if you go out there on the web, you will find that if you're a passer, for instance, they recommend that you put your serve receive first, usually 20 to 25 if you've got a longer clip, or several of those up front. Then you're digging, then a few serves, maybe 3 to 5 serves, and then any attacking or setting. I don't know what it is for setters or hitters because I didn't have one of those people, but I think you can go out and find what they recommend to having your clips as you're putting that together overall. And so I would say that try to kind of build that. And then the last piece here is hit publish. I did want to go back. Sorry, I did that too quickly. Let's go to return to highlights. I did have one other thing to show you there. But the one other thing I was going to show you is that you can add a photo here. So if you have some photos and you wanted to put one of those on a slide to open up your video, you can do it. However you clip that or crop this photo here is how it shows up. And so I'm just going to kind of crop that a little bit, and then you could see that would show up on a slide here, and then you would decide where you want to put that. You can do the same with title slides. So if you wanted to put a title here, it's going to give you, as I mentioned, and I'll show you that in a minute, it's going to say the title of this highlight video, L. Jackson versus Manual, and it will have a couple other things that it might have as an opening screen that you don't really pick. But if you wanted additional subtitles, for instance, passing, you could put that in. And if you put all your passes together, then you could put that in a certain section, and then it would show up as all your passes. And then you could put digging or setting or hitting or any of those pieces, to where when you pulled all that together and you hit done and you return to your highlights, it's going to take a little while to render that. It did it pretty quickly there. But then this highlight film is ready to go. And I was kind of click on it. Well, I thought it was ready to go, but it didn't. It actually is still rendering. So let me go back here. It'll say rendering. But at this point in time, you're ready to share this video. You probably want to watch it first, make sure it looks the way you want it to, but share this video, and you can share it on Facebook or Twitter directly from your account, or copy the URL. And if you just copy that URL, you can kind of test it out there and go into a new page. In this case, it is now done, and so it will take a little bit of time, but now you're in the video and it's playing that highlight video for you, and you can post that on Facebook or any of the other sites that you have out there, and it will stay in your profile, to where you can kind of send this clip to coaches or other things, and then these videos will be ready to go as you're looking at it. And so that is HUDL in a nutshell. I know that was really fast, but I'll kind of pause there and kind of open it up for questions.
I think I'm pretty good with it, Garrett. I think it's going to be one of those just plug and play things. You just got to mess around with it to figure it out. I mean, what you showed us is very informative. I think that'll just got to get on there and kind of mess with it. So
yeah. And I'll tell you, I spent a season last season with it. You pick it up pretty quick. I can honestly tell you that before that, I would clip and film and clip videos, and what took me 2 or 3 hours to get to clips to where I could start to create a highlight I can do a highlight video as I just showed you in 30 to 40 minutes now, and it's as good or better quality than I was ever able to do trying to do my own video and all the other stuff. And it can also give you some functionality as far as some of the stats, so you can see stats by rotation and all these other things. And so I'll be honest with you, Elle likes stats more than she probably even likes video. And so we probably spend more time looking at stats than we even do video for her. And so, but these are other things, and you could actually take a title screen, for instance, if you wanted to, and drop some of the key stats from the game on the highlight video. And so these are just some other HUDL things that are out there for you to look at. I didn't use the recruiting a lot. You do have your profile here that you can fill some things in, and use HUDL as your profile page if you really wanted to. So if you edited your profile, I haven't done that a lot with Elle because she had our club has one at Kiva, and she had a NCSA account too. So we put most of her stuff out there. But I would honestly tell you, in a university athlete, you probably want a couple of those various sites. If you're looking at D1 university athlete, the D2 and NAIA and others use NCSA a little bit more. But I would say that if you're looking at those things, try to get those, and then you can put these clips directly off of here onto those profiles, which is where the college coaches go a little bit more. I'm sure they use HUDL some, but I think they look at the profiles that are out there for your players a little bit more, and you want to be able to associate your videos with that, which HUDL allows you to do. So email me if you have any questions. And like I said, I've recorded this. I kind of recorded it in a couple of pieces, so it might be a little easier to look at my pieces versus this full video, but I'll have it out there for anybody who's interested, and I'll send a link to where those videos are saved. And like I said, if you're in that recruiting process, HUDL's a lifesaver. It saves you a lot of time and energy, and you can really kind of pull some pretty cool stuff together, and happy to help any way I can.
I appreciate it, Garrett.
All right. Well, look, guys, I appreciate it, and good luck for club season and everything else. And hopefully we can get through the gauntlet that was given to us on the state tournament here, and get through to the end, and win out and maybe get a state championship. So good luck to everybody, and we'll see you around. Okay. Thank you.